Alright, so in this walkthrough, we will create a virtual machine in the Azure portal. We're going to connect to the virtual machine. We're going to install the web server role and test. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sign into the Azure portal. So let's open up the Edge browser here. And we're going to go to https portal.azure.com. Okay, that should have just opened up. Am I spelling it wrong? Oh, I put too many T's there. Whoop. There we go. Now we're going to sign in with our credentials here. Alright, so here we are. We're going to skip the tour for right now. Now, from the All Services tab, we're going to go to these three horizontal lines and we're going to go to All Services. And we're going to select Virtual Machines right there. And then we're going to click Create right here. And then from here, a drop-down menu appears and we're going to click Azure Virtual Machine. Alright, so here we are in the Basics tab. What we're going to do is just start filling in information. We're going to leave some stuff as set to default. So subscription is going to be set to default, and resource group we're going to click this for our drop-down menu. We're going to click that one. We're going to name our virtual machine. So we're going to name it My VM. And our region, we're going to switch over to US East, US. Now for availability zone, we don't need any redundancy, so we're going to select no infrastructure redundancy required. And then for our image, right now its default is Ubuntu server, and we are going to change this to Windows Server 2019 database. Now we're going to create some administrator credentials here. We're going to input our username and our password. Let's confirm our password. Alright, now we're going to make sure that the inbound port rules are set to allow selected ports, and we need RDP, which is our remote desktop protocol, and HTTP. Those are both port 80 and port 3389. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the monitoring tab. The monitoring used to be within management, and now they created its own tab, so we're going to go to monitoring. And then from here, we are going to set our boot diagnostics to disable. We don't need that for this lab. And now we're going to leave the remaining values on the defaults, and then we're going to click Review and Create button at the bottom down here. Alright, so here is our confirmation page. We just got a validation passed. Next we're going to do is we're going to click the Create button at the bottom here. As you can see, it's going to be about 18 cents US dollars an hour to run this virtual machine. And let's hit Create. So we're going to receive updates of the deployment page and via the notifications area, which is the bell icon up here. You can see we're receiving our updates. We're also deployment is in progress stage here on this page. So give it some time. All right, there we go. So now it says that our deployment is complete. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect to the virtual machine that we just created. So let's do this. We're going to be using RDP, which is the Remote Desktop Protocol. So we're going to click on the bell icon on the upper left toolbar here, and we're going to select Go to Resource. All right, let's close that. So next thing we're going to do is on the virtual machine overview, which we're already on right here, we're going to click Connect. So let's click Connect. And then we're going to start, we're going to choose our RDP here by clicking Download RDP File. So before we go any further, I do want to mention that if you are on a Mac, you will need an RDP client, such as this remote desktop client from the Mac store. And on a Linux computer, you can use an open source RDP client. But since this is all a simulation within a virtual machine, I don't need any of this stuff, even though I am using a Mac. But if you're actually doing this, you will need the remote desktop client from the App Store. Okay, so we're going to select Download RDP File. And it's going to ask us, my VM.rdp could harm your device. Do you want to keep it anyway? We're going to say keep, because we do trust this. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to open the RDP file right here. And we are going to click Connect. Alright, from here we're going to get a window asking for our password. We remember when we made administrator credentials, that's Azure user, and our password is that. So we'll click OK. Alright, now we're receiving a warning certificate here during the sign-in process. We're just going to click yes, or to create a connection and connect to your deployed VM, you should connect successfully. So let's click yes. All right, that blue bar up here is a good sign. So now a new virtual machine is launching inside our lab. And we're gonna let this do its thing. It's gonna be a Windows Server 2019 database. We're going to let it launch Server Manager, and we'll close that out, and then we'll keep going. So here we are, our 2019 desktop background. It's gonna still starting up. Give it some time because it's going to launch Server Manager. There it goes. Okay. So we're done here. Let's close that, and there you go. We deployed and connected to a virtual machine running Windows Server. Next, we're going to install the web server role, and we're going to test it. So in this task, we're going to install the web server role on the server on the virtual machine we just created, and ensure the default IIS welcome page will be displayed. Alright, so here in our newly opened virtual machine, we're going to launch the PowerShell. So let's go to the search engine, and we're going to type power. So here's PowerShell. We're going to right click it, and then we're going to run as administrator. Okay, so from here in the PowerShell, we're going to install the web server feature on the virtual machine by running the following command. So this is going to be the command right there, which is install Windows feature, name, web server, include management tools, and we're going to hit enter. There it goes, it's collecting data. It's at 10%, 20%. We're just going to let that run. And when it's completed, a prompt will state success with a value of true. And we don't need to restart the virtual machine to complete the installation. We can close the RDP connection to this virtual machine by either clicking the X up here, or we can just minimize it if we want to by clicking this area right here. As you can see, it kind of pops up. It says close, restore down, or minimize. And we're going to do that once this is complete, and we're going to go back to the Azure portal. Alright, there you go. We got the success value true. We're good to go here. So let's minimize it. And you can see at the bottom here, our virtual machine is still present. So back on the portal, we're going to navigate back to the overview. And we're going to use the click to clipboard button to copy the public IP address of my VM, which is right here, the public IP address right here. And we're going to click this, which is copy to clipboard. Copied. Alright, now we're going to open up a new web browser tab, and we're going to paste that public IP address into the URL text box, and we're going to press enter. So let's get a new one here. We're going to right click and paste. We're going to press enter, and there you go. So this is the default IIS web server welcome page. And that's pretty much it. We created a new virtual machine running a web server that is accessible via its public IP address. If we had a web application to host, we could deploy application files to the virtual machine and host them for public access on the deployed virtual machine. So yeah, and to avoid additional costs, we can optionally remove this resource group as well. So what we will do is we'll go back to the portal here, and we're just going to click delete. And another way of doing this, a better way of doing this actually, would be to scroll down to settings. Let's go to properties. Here's our resource group. We're going to copy that. Let's go to the search engine up here and click paste, and then click enter. So this pops up. Let's check mark it, and then we're going to click delete. Now we're going to enter delete to confirm deletion, which is delete. And then we're going to click delete and delete. Now you're going to notice that this RDP icon is going to disappear. That's because we deleted it. That virtual machine is now gone. It's still going to take a while though. We have to execute the delete. It's running. It's going to take a few minutes or a few seconds. And this page actually should be no more once it's done. We'll take a look at that. But yeah, I understand that a lot of people would not have the ability to even see what the Azure portal would look like, because making virtual machines cost money. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can get a very hefty bill. So, okay. So it looks like we are completed it here. We executed our deletion. We go back to this IIS server and click enter again. Let's see what happens. There should be nothing there. It shouldn't work. Because if we go back to, we X out of this and we go home, we don't have anything. We don't have a virtual machine. And there you go. See what happens? The virtual machine's gone. So now we got this page saying, can't reach this page. We don't know where it went. We don't know what's going on. And yeah, I think that's about it. Just a quick video on creating a virtual machine in the Azure portal. Like I said, I know this information would not be accessible to a lot of people, and this is all a lab simulation, so everything that I do is safe. Even if I was to change default credentials and instead of it being 18 cents, it would be like $190 an hour. It doesn't matter, because once I end the lab, everything just goes away. And that's the fun thing about this lab. And yeah, I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to see this, so I wanted to share it, and I hope you enjoyed. So thanks for watching.